Well, no.
You are watching Wyrd,
Anybody
a
been bobbing
weekly
for those
live
apples?
stream featuring survival horror, science fiction, and fantasy authors Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne. They get together to discuss, debate, and dissect the latest new movie releases, personal recommendations, and their week-by-week after viewing responses to a current streaming series. Like, follow, and subscribe to Wyrd Realities on all our social media at Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Wyrd Realities, and that's Wyrd with the Y. Be sure to check out our webpage and subscribe to our monthly newsletter where we highlight our partners, followers, Wyrd kids, talk latest books releases, and more. That's at www.wyrdrealities.net.
Howdy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Watching Wyrd. Tonight, Hadley is not with us, and they refuse to let me wear the wig. So we have at Hadley's place Cecil.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Cecil.
Hey, Cecil. Thanks for
Cecil
joining
or,
us.
Cecil or Cecil?
It's both.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And then you know me, and you know Rich and Alan.
We go with back.
So, hey, Mike, how you doing?
Mike Lewis.
So,
All right.
yes,
Nice to
we've
meet
got
you.
some unique movies tonight.
Yeah.
We do. We have Kandahar with Gerard Butler. He's been on a roll right now with these almost direct-to-video movies. I think they've all come out the movies, but they're like, streamed right away, it seems like. And Insidious 4, The Red Door, and Lioness Special Ops. So it's a mixed bag. Well, I guess you could throw Kandahar and Lioness together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah. They're both not good. So, no, I'm sorry. I'll say my.
Wait.
I'll say my
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Ash. I love you too.
Evening, Ash. So you want to start out? Let's start out with do you want to do, is there a movie you want to do, Scott?
No, I'm gonna let you guys because I got some notes on Kandahar.
Well, can I do Kandahar and then
Throw it over.
Absolutely.
we want to jump into Insidious and then we'll do Kandahar.
We can do whatever you like.
Yeah, that's probably get the best of the worst out of the way.
All right, you want me to do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're eloquent.
So this is our thing. This is what we do, and this is going to be Insidious: The Red Door. Recently released a video. It's a 2023 production. It's the newest in the Insidious franchise. It's The Red Door. It follows the extremely unlucky Josh Lambert, played by Patrick Wilson, and his son Dalton, played by Ty Simpkins. While Dalton is undeniably a cool name, the poor kid has demons and evil ghosts up his ass since the first Insidious, which was released in 2013. Both the dad and the kid are the same actors that have been in the 3 linked Insidious movies, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
The one with the keys was a lone film. It was the last one. I think it was like 2018 or something like that. It's not the same characters. So the plot is 9 years after his possession, where the demon ghost witch thing who took him over tried to kill his family. Josh Lambert is starting to remember stuff from the Further, which is the place where the dead reside. Josh and Dalton have a tense relationship, and little do either of them know, they have been bamboozled by their wife/mom and were hypnotized such that they would both forget what happened to them years before. With the hypnosis crumbling and memories coming back, the cool shit starts to happen. Well, cool for us, but really exceptionally frightening for them. Josh drops Dalton off at college, and Dalton figures out how to astral project while he draws and paints pictures of a, wait for it, red door.
Ooh.
Shockingly, astral projection ain't all that, and once you do it, the dead can follow you back into this world. Not only that, but they can trap you in theirs. That sucks. Me, I would have projected myself into the collegiate women's volleyball locker room, but hey, that's me. Dalton's memories of the Further pretty much pull him into it, and the evil demon dude gets over here and he tries to kill Dalton's love interest. But Patrick Wilson, who is pretty much a legend in the whole demons want to kill me genre, saves the day by putting his shoulder to the red door so Dalton can escape and the dude can't get through. Tough guy. As the demon dude starts to break through the door, Dalton, now back in his college dorm room with the love interest, paints over the red door with black paint, and this case is closed. There's a couple of spooky scenes in this one, particularly the one with Patrick Wilson in an MRI machine. I already don't like MRI, so if I ever need another one, Blumhouse is getting hit with a lawsuit. Because no. Another creepy scene is with these dead contortionist demon ghost jobbies fold themselves out of drawers and from under beds, and one comes from behind a curtain, I think, to play grab ass with Dalton and Chris. That's the love interest, his girlfriend. As Dalton's trying to save everything. The film grossed $187 million worldwide, which makes it the highest grossing moneymaker in the series, but it suffered mixed reviews from both critics and fans. Honestly, I thought it was okay. It was exactly what I expected. Patrick Wilson directed it, and he did all right. There was a bit part by Lynn Shay, who plays the medium Elise Rainier, but really she wasn't needed in this. Rose Byrne plays the mom, and she also did pretty well. As far as recommendations, I think if you like the first two films, you're going to like this one, although the spooky is dialed down some. No Oscars here, but it does hit a 15 out of 10 on the shit freaking spooky meter for the MRI scene. What did you guys think?
That MRI scene, that got me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you, I hate MRIs.
Oh, hell with those things.
I hate Tom Petty music. It made me hate Tom Petty for years because I had those headphones in when I was doing it for my shoulder, and Tom Petty was playing.
Everybody got headphones. I didn't get headphones.
I got headphones. Yeah,
I stuck in a hot dog tube, and I was like this, and I couldn't move, and the thing was touching. Oh, the hell with that! I'm never doing I even got a muscle relaxer, and to chill out and everything, but it didn't help. I had to go to eventually one of those open ones. Yeah, you know what I got? The guy, when I got out, after they squeezed me out of the thing like a tube of toothpaste, the guy says, "Oh, I should have put you in a bigger one." I was killed.
Oh shit!
The thing was like this big, and they got me in there.
I think I took a nap.
I'm a little dude.
I think I took a nap during mine.
Did you really?
I think so. Yeah.
And I used to spelunk, but as I got older, I've got more claustrophobic.
Yeah, I've gotten more rotund, so I'm not doing any spelunking.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't see it either, Tony, because that's the only thing this movie's worth watching is that scene. To me, I didn't like it as much as you did. I like Patrick Wilson; he's one of my favorite, one of my favorite modern actors. But man, this movie just didn't do it for me. I thought it was kind of boring. But I did like that they used the whole cast from the first movie on. Even what's that actress name that played the mom? She's a 70s actress. No.
His mom?
Huh?
Barbara Shelley?
Not Shelley, but Barbara Black or something like that. Or
let me look it up. I know her name.
They didn't even list her in the credits, though. I mean,
Yeah, it was just her picture of the movie. So.
Well, no, remember the hypnotize, or was that a scene from the other one with the hypnotizing part? Was that
a scene from the other one? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was from the other
one. Okay, I didn't know that. See, because I didn't see that one.
So I think that there was another scene. Well, I don't want to wreck it for anybody either. I mean, I know we gave a lot of spoilers. So, spoiler alert, we should put that, rewind, put that for you.
Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey, yeah. Barbara Hershey, yeah.
I didn't watch the movie. I haven't watched any of these. I just kind of jumped on last minute, but I'm going to agree that the MRI scene was very scary.
It's funny. I had only seen the first one, and I've seen it 3 or 4 times. It's a classic. To me, it's up between that and The Conjuring with Patrick Wilson. So this weekend, I watched the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, before I watched Insidious Tuesday night. You can see the progression. They get slightly worse. Yes, I do like the fact that they bring all the characters from the original movie in. They find a way to work them into the plot, even if they're dead.
Yeah.
But whereas the first one I thought was really terrifying This one started to go more towards jump scares, which was to me is a cheap way of doing it. You know, you want to build the tension and then not just have something jumps out at you. Yeah, I think the best scene was probably the MRI. I thought the ending was going to end differently.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I thought it was going to end differently. I don't know. I was torn between the father and the son don't like each other. They can't stand each other. They argue all the time. And it's because that their mind was erased for that 1 year. And I don't know, part of it like fit in. The other part just seemed like it was straight. It almost seemed like, they were pulling that out to keep the movie to 130 minutes. I mean, an hour and a half. But it was okay, but I won't be watching any of the other Insidious movies other than the first one.
Yeah, I didn't care for this one. I think it's the worst of the series. But that.
Oh, it is. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know why it grows so much. I think people just want to see how it ended.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was just another one in the series. And usually what happens is they peter out and they don't do as well as the one before it. But this one actually, it didn't have as good as an opening weekend as what was the one with the keys called? The Last Key or the First Key or something like that. It didn't have as good of an opening weekend, but then it kept hitting on the next few weekends. So it did okay. And I guess, it did pretty well in the Philippines. I guess the Philippines is on a horror tear right now. Filipinos are like really watching lots of horror movies.
Yeah.
So it crushed it over there.
And Blumhouse, say what you will about them. They've opened up all these horror films.
Yeah.
They're just a horror mill. They churn out some good ones, some okay ones, a lot of crap. But, they're churning them out. And for a while, horror was kind of dead.
Yeah.
It was stagnant,
Well, they can thank us.
Yeah.
Hollywood should call us, give us all contracts or something, and
I'll just take our books and make them in the movies.
I'll be okay with that too.
But for those of you that think this is the last movie in the franchise, because if there's a possibility of beating the dead cow for another buck, watch it through to the end of the credits.
Have you ever beat a dead cow for another buck?
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever done that before.
The things I did before I was 18, I don't have.
We don't talk about that. All
right. Do you have any, Cecil? You got any more to add to this?
No, I haven't watched any of these. I'll just fill in a box. But I mean, Blumhouse. I think Blumhouse makes the best horror movies anymore. One of my favorite ones that's came out in the last couple of years was Black Phone. Like,
Black Phone.
Pretty good.
That was good.
And I mean, the remake of the Halloween movie is kind of blue, but whatever.
Well, that Black Phone, they didn't pull any punches either.
No.
The subject matter and everything, it really didn't pull any punches.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to watch a movie where children die.
Yeah.
But you know what? Honestly, it was tactfully done. I mean, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but they really did it well. There wasn't any torture scenes. There wasn't any, broken kids when they did it. It was just scary. It was because you knew that the kid wasn't going to escape on his own. And it ended up, again, if you haven't seen Black Phone, watch Black Phone. It was a pretty good flick.
It's worth it.
And I do want to say, Max was talking about the movie where Barbara Hershey got, violated. I didn't want to say the R word. The entity. I actually watched that yesterday, so that's kind of strange that he would bring it. I just thought that was weird. I was like, "Oh shit, that's strange."
I saw that thing on base in '83. I think they were playing it on base. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and it's a crazy flick.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's probably dated.
So, for somebody who hasn't watched it, who all recommends Insidious Red Door?
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it. I think if you like the first ones, you'll like this one. But like Alan said, it's slower than the other ones.
Yeah.
And like Scott said, they focused on the jump scares rather than the terror building. But the one scene, other than the MRI scene, because fuck that, the one scene that was kind of spooky was when those critters started coming out of, in his room.
Oh yeah.
And that was sort of a build-up because they came out real slow. It wasn't a jump scare. They just kind of came from different places and they just kind of marched toward them very slowly. So that was pretty creepy. But like I said, if you like the other ones, you should watch this just to finish it off if it's finished. But,
I agree.
This is not going to win any spooky awards.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to end up being like Paranormal Activity, though. Like, I thought that would for sure be done after part 3, but they're like on to like the 10th one now or something. Yeah.
I mean, they're all part of the same universe. It's almost like Saw.
Yeah.
Each one continues the story until you get to the point. It's like, really? Fred didn't even like the movie. If you've seen the first 4 Insidious movies, go see this one. It ends the story. If you've only seen Insidious, I wouldn't bother worrying about the others.
And I just have a real special, I don't really like Patrick Wilson just because he's too handsome to play Ed Warren. I've never appreciated.
And about 2 feet taller.
Yeah, exactly. So I've always kind of been like, I don't really like him too much. So whenever he shows up, I just kind of go, like Ed Warren should have had the big great chops and been a ugly little hobbit guy. So.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
You can't.
You can't take what the person really liked and put them on the screen. Nobody would go see it.
Yeah, that's true.
One of my favorite Patrick Wilson movies is when he was the asshole CIA guy in the A-Team.
Oh yeah, excellent. That's a good role. Well, they should get Joe Pesci to play Ed Warren. That'd be great.
That would have been awesome, actually.
Are you haunting me? Are you haunting me?
So what would you guys rate this one?
I'm going to give it a 2.5. Just, I could not sit through it again.
Yeah. What about you, Scott?
Yeah, 2.5.
Well, Cecil, you didn't see it, so you're going to give it like a 5, right?
Well, I'm with you fellers.
Yeah, I'll also give it a 2.5. Just
Max gives it.
I don't know. I hope my review didn't come off as glowing because that's not what I was shooting for.
No.
But it wasn't terrible. It's just not something I ever need to see again. It was just too slow. So 2.5 all over.
Yeah, 2.5 all over. Insidious 4, The Red Door. Hey, it kind of rhymes.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah,
So
sure.
let's move on to Kandahar.
Kandahar. Gerard Butler's been kind of on an action roll lately. I don't know if anyone's seen Plane, that movie that he had out.
Which one?
I honestly thought that Gerard Butler had passed away. I haven't seen him in nothing in a long time.
Yeah. These there, you still around? Plane, it's Plane. Yeah, you guys haven't seen that one?
Nah.
It's not a bad one. It's an actioner. It's not bad at all. But this one, Kandahar, takes place after we've pulled out of Afghanistan. And Gerard Butler is he's a CIA operative. Think of Scott. And he goes to Iran and he helps destroy their nuclear program there again. What's that bug called that they thank you. So they do something similar to that again. Somebody leaks out the information what we're doing, the U.S. is doing. So that puts Gerard Butler and his partner on Front Street. So he's trying to get out of Afghanistan, right? And his partner's trying to get out of Iran, but his partner doesn't make it. I'm not giving anything away there. So he ends up with a handler, Travis Fimmel, Ragnar from Vikings. that's helping him out, trying to get him out, trying to get a flight out. And okay, it's a chase movie because the Iranians are after him. There's some Pakistanis that are after him. Him and this interpreter that's trying to find his sister-in-law. That he's lived in Baltimore now. He's been relocated and everything. He's able to get out. There's a lot of jabs at this administration. It's a kind of it's a political, but not covenant political.
Yeah.
You know, it does emphasize that we left all this crap, you know, left these people behind, and you see it. The bad guys all that have the Hummers, they got the M4s. One of the bad guys one of the Taliban guys is talking about his helicopter being used on operation. So it does jab, you know, at that, which is good. But it's just it's a chase movie basically. And Gerard Butler is Gerard Butler. You know, he could be Mike Bannon. Well, he's a lesser Mike Bannon from Angel Has Fallen because Mike Bannon kills everybody.
Yeah.
But the acting's pretty good. The camaraderie, the character build flows along with the movie because it doesn't. There's not one right away. You kind of build these characters up as it goes. So it's like Covenant Light. I like how they showed all the abandoned vehicles. You know, the desert mentioning you can use the M4, Sig Sauer, you know, weapons that we all left behind. That helicopter chase scene at night, that's pretty intense. I did like that scene where Mo, the interpreter, forgives the warlord that killed his son.
Yeah, that was
an intense scene. But and this is based on kind of a true story, kind of.
Loosely based.
Yeah, and during the Snowden leaks in 2013. It's got Gerard Butler, Travis Fimmel, you know, Ragnarok, Naveed Negahban. I know I'm butchering his name. Plays Mo, the interpreter. He's in a lot of stuff. American Sniper, Prince of Persia, 12 Strong, The Old Man, and that Pakistani guy that's chasing him on the motorcycle. I kind of like that part, but it wasn't really realistic. It wasn't realistic. You know, it was like this uber bad guy. You know, it's like one of my
gas in that thing. Same with the truck.
yeah. But I enjoyed this movie. It was nice action. I thought it was kind of, like I said, a light version of The Covenant. You know. But what'd you guys think?
Scott, you want to go first?
Oh, you go first. I got some snarky comments.
Again, I didn't hate it. It was just like Insidious 4. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I think, well, I mean, right now Hollywood's not doing anything, but I think Hollywood's stuck. They don't have a lot of new stuff. So what they're doing is they're going after stuff that's been done 100 times and just putting a fresh coat of paint on it. And that's what this is. This is just every other Gerard Butler movie you've seen. The White House Down movies, don't get me. Was it White House Down? Is that what
Angel, White House Has Fallen.
Angel, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those I think are pretty good. They're actually, while it's the same movie, they're significantly better than the rest of this Butler-esque type of stuff. This one is, I don't know. It had a lot in it I would change. And nobody ever thinks about gasoline in vehicles anymore. I mean, they drove all over the goddamn country. Iran, Pakistan. I'm surprised they didn't come over, over Alaska. But they never ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Small things like that sort of annoy me, take away from it. But really, it's not a bad movie. It's just, again, it's not a movie I'm ever going to watch again. I don't need to see it because they're all the same. This is the same as any of the other ones. And like Alan said, it's a chase movie, from pretty much from beginning to end. There were a couple of cool little gadgets that they had. But overall, like I said, it's not a movie I'm going to watch again. Scott?
I was looking forward to it. No, I was looking forward to it. But the first 20 minutes turned me off so much. We used to have this joke in the CIA. When we watched a movie based on intelligence, did it pass the guffaw factor? if you laughed out loud, if you guffawed more than 3 times, the movie wasn't worth it. First 20 minutes. There is no way that Iranians are going to allow non-Iranians that close to one of their nuclear weapons facility. Let's see. There's no way that you can break into even the Iranians are not dumb enough to hook up their entire nuclear weapons facility on the open internet. So you can put
the cable TV junctions.
Yeah, so you could put something on. No research. It's a centrifuge nuclear power plant. They're completely separate things. Your centrifuges is the nuclear power plant is what produces the energy and then enriches the uranium, and you can take the plutonium out with centrifuges. They're not together. Yes, you can increase the RPM on a centrifuge and spin them until they all break apart. It apparently has been done before. But you don't spin the centrifuges fall apart, and 10 seconds later, the nuclear power plant explodes underground. And that was the point I came the closest to shutting off the movie. Let's see. You don't turn around and go back and say, hey, look at all this stuff I've got about Iran's nuclear power plant and the nuclear weapons program. I'm going to send it to you over an unclassified, unsecured email. And then why were the Iranians looking at her email rather than everybody else's? You know, the minute he sends it to her, the Iranians knew she had it and went after her. And then there was other stuff like, I'm sorry, yeah, it was fun, it was exciting, but there is no way one guy with an AK-47 is going to take out a helicopter with a chain gun. I'm sorry, not even Chuck Norris.
That was cool though.
That was fun, but after the first 20 minutes, it's like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. You know, they're shooting the chain gun at even if it's an armor-plated SUV. It's not going to last that long. So, and let's see, there was one other thing in there. Yeah, there was no way he could say, oh, and then in the next car, they hit him with an RPG, blow the car, it rolls over, and then the two of them crawl out like, oh, my neck hurt.
Like the A-Team.
Yeah, it's Gerard Butler, man.
Yeah, man, he can't die.
He can't.
It was a fun chase movie. I liked the Pakistani guy on the motorcycle. I really liked the way they did the head of the Iranian intelligence, the one who lets the girl go at the end.
Oh, God.
But you know, and the action, the chase scenes were good, but there was just too much in that movie that I was like, oh, come on, you've got to effing be kidding me.
Right.
So I enjoyed parts of it, but then all that other stuff just took it away from me.
I get that. I'll see prison movies and it's like, you know, come on. You guys walking on the floor with a gun, really? You know? But yeah, you know, it's one big chase movie, and that's what made it, I guess, fun. It's not like you said, Rich. I wouldn't watch it again. It's just not. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it had some cool stuff in it, but I just wouldn't watch it again. And David Hasselhoff could have saved this movie, I believe.
No.
You can watch him trying to eat the hamburger off the sand there in Afghanistan.
The Iranians are not good at intelligence. They're great at terrorism. They are not the best at intelligence.
Yeah, I would recommend this if you're looking for a mindless action movie. You know, and I do like, you know, where you see what we've left behind.
Yeah,
some of it. You know, it's like okay, and you know, it's got Ragnar. You know, Ragnar in it. You don't see him.
I really thought he was going to be a dick.
Yeah, me too.
I thought Travis Fimmel was going to be the guy that's in it for the money, and he's faking being a Muslim.
Right.
And he ended up. I was completely wrong on that. And I was pleasantly surprised by that because, like I said, I really thought he was going to be a bad guy.
I was with you on that because we thought, oh, he's gonna, double do him dirty, and no, he was there for him. So that was good. I like that. And that one scene with the drone, that was kind of cool. I mean, it was it was all right.
A lot of hellfires on that drone.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was one more scene. I'm sorry, I got to jump in.
Go ahead.
No.
He's sitting in Riyadh, hundreds of miles away. The Iranian nuclear power plant explodes, and Gerard Butler's watching the explosion.
Well, it's movie geography.
The way
Movie geography is special.
I haven't been tracking Gerard Butler's movies for a long time. And I was sitting here while you guys were discussing this movie, and I got sidetracked. I watched Olympus Has Fallen. I did not know it has turned into a saga.
Oh
There's
yeah, it is.
4 of those movies. That's crazy to me. And I was trying to figure out when it turned into an action like star, but I guess it's been from the beginning, right? Because everything I've seen him in was like P.S. I Love You, which I cried in. Let's see.
You're a big
300. Yeah, it's such a sad movie.
Well, he
About it.
he was in One of the Dragons, right?
Yeah, Rain of Fire. I was just going to say that.
Rain of Fire, yeah.
That was good. I like that movie. That's a great flick. I couldn't wait to see that at the movie theater.
Yeah,
He wasn't. It looks like he was in a movie about conspiracy thing that we went through, kind of mixed with paranormal. It's a retelling of it, The Vanishing. I've not watched that yet. I need to.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's about the 3 guys that were in the lighthouse, and
Oh.
they relieve them, and they had disappeared, and all their wetsuits and everything were still there. Apparently, it's been turned into a movie. But I think he's a modern day Steven Seagal. It looks like.
Oh no! Don't be smirching him. No. I wish I could get that emoji on here of Steven Seagal dancing, man. That's awesome. If I throw that up there. No, don't besmirch Mike Ben and the guy that stabs terrorists in this through the skull with his knife.
Olympus has fallen, London's fallen, and the Angel has fallen. I wonder what's going to fall next.
I think we're gonna make a 4th one. The guy that directed this one we're talking about did Angel Has Fallen, and so
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Angel Has Fallen. I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
You got to see that one. It's not as good.
Is that the one that has a bunch of little drones in it?
Yeah.
Oh, then I did see it. Okay, I'm mixing them up.
It's not as good, but it's still fun. Yeah, he kills people.
Long way from Dracula.
Yeah, right. Well,
Thank you. Yeah.
the Middle Eastern guys shouldn't have known to mess with him, right? Because he took 300 guys.
Yeah, he's drawing.
Killed a lot of,
Thousands.
Yes.
Almost 1 million. They stood against 1 million, right?
Yeah, so they should have known. Oh, that's him? No, forget it. Get out of here.
He drove a whole army, a whole.
Seen this stuff before. Darius.
Yeah, I thought Olympus Has Fallen was better than White House Down, but White House Down was more of a comedy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, kind of more of a buddy flick, I think.
I do like Jamie Foxx.
Now, the London was Olympus Down, right?
No, Olympus was the White House, London Falling, and then Angel Falling.
And
Angel Falling
was that the one that took place at the presidential residence in Maryland?
No.
Okay, I haven't
was
seen
it? Wait a minute.
Right.
No, White House Down was completely in the White House.
White House.
Right. Yeah.
But the beginning's at, was it Camp David? They're coming from Camp David or something?
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what I was. Yeah, the opening takes place at Camp David, doesn't it?
And he can't save the wife. He saves us. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I got the president, but the first lady, too bad.
Yeah, she goes over the bridge. I remember now.
Yeah.
full disclosure, last movie I watched him in, he played a leprechaun. So,
Oh, was that movie 22 or whatever?
yeah, movie 43. Yeah,
Yeah, we reviewed that one.
it looks like he's going to be in a documentary about Pantera, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera.
This is a pretty gritty movie. It's got some good scenes.
Gerard Butler, who knew he was still working? That's awesome.
See,
Working right now.
Hadley missed it tonight. I think she's got a Gerard Butler poster.
Alexa, stop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she's missing out.
He took a little spin into comedies there for a minute.
Mhm.
Like, I liked them. They were
Yeah, he did a couple rom-coms.
funny. Little rom-coms.
Yeah. So what do we give this one?
I'll give it a 3. I think it was a little bit better than Insidious, Red Door, but I'm not going to watch it again. It's another one.
Scott?
Yes.
I'm going to be nice. I'm going to forget the first 20 minutes of the movie ever existed. I'll give it a 3.
Cecil, what's your maple leaf score?
I'm going to give it a 5 just because I didn't know he's still working. That's awesome.
Well, now you got some homework. I'm going to give it a 3. Like Rich and Scott, I won't watch it again. Maybe the end, but it's just it's worth watching once.
Yeah.
I disagree with that comment, Ash. There's never why cocaine is bad.
Cocaine. See, they put that emoji of that cocaine clown from one of those guys. What's that cartoon show? It's a death metal band, Metal Octopus.
Metal.
Never seen it.
You never see Metal Octopus? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Death Clock's awesome, man. Brendan Smith.
Yeah. I do cocaine. Anyway, I guess we'll move from a clown doing cocaine to Lioness. And Scott, you're our CIA expert, and also you're our expert on lesbians. So that's what you.
That's not meant for my ex-wife if she's watching. The series itself, it's impossible for me to get really involved in this because it is, again, it does not pass the guffaw factor. This is over the top ridiculous. See, some of the first episodes, the CIA having a car chase, killing terrorists in the streets of, what was it, San Antonio. No, never freaking happened. Some of the other stuff they did. The CIA breaking into the house and to kill the terrorists, and then finding out, the guy set the bomb. We'll let the police come in. No, if I had did anything like that, I would be sitting in a maximum security underground prison in Colorado right now. Last episode had the best scene when,
of course,
when the White House people were interrogating them. And the deputy director gave them just cut their legs out from under them. We knew about we were told about 9/11. Do you think if we'd gone back in time and did what we were supposed to? I'd like to go back and have T-shirts. Yes, we did it. That was the best scene. I loved that. I knew guys like that at the agency. Now we come to this one. I guess I'm not giving anything away. The wedding is about to take place. She has the information when and where. She teams up with and I don't know the names because I'm not that into this one, but the Iranian girl, the Saudi girl, her and her girlfriend, who's the Marine working for the CIA, they go to a hotel together. They're getting ready to prepare. They're getting all the things, the dresses and the clothes they need to fly to the wedding. And they have a night of pleasure together where most of us go to a bachelor party and probably had fun with women. She went to a bachelor party and had fun with women too. And it throws the Marine girl off. Because now she's fallen in love with her and she's starting to have this emotional tie. You know, how can I do this to the woman I love? I'm going to wind up killing her father. And there's all the bickering back and forth between the agencies. Who's going to do it? One thing that got my attention was, oh yeah, the Senate's in charge of this one now. There is no fucking way we would ever put anybody on the Senate in charge of anything. Maybe taking the trash out. I had more run-ins with senatorial aides that I care to talk about. If you put it in charge of the Senate, they would have blown up China. So anyways, she runs away. She's thinking, that's it. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be part of it. So Zoe Saldana tracks her down, and Nicole Kidman, they talk to her. They tell her she has to do it. They're like, okay, you missed the flight, but we'll fly you in. And the last scene on the plane is they're flying to Spain, where she's going to meet up with the Saudi girl. And I like that Zoe Saldana puts down a laptop and says, we've done a compilation of videos of all the people that were killed by her father. It's an 8-hour flight. You're not going to get to see the whole movie. And then she hits the play button and leaves her.
It's kind of like that scene from Clockwork Orange, you know?
Yeah. So
You know,
that's where this episode ends. But I'm not getting into it. It is just so bizarre. There's no way the FBI is going to call up and say, hey, would you mind taking out this guy in Mexico for me? And we're going to go and like, oh, we'll put this mission aside for 24 hours and we'll do it. I mean, the fact that the FBI and the CIA get along about as good as Fred and Michonne, you know, they just don't like each other. They don't work. And I don't know. It's just over the top for me. I'm finding it very hard to follow it. Or I shouldn't say follow. I'm finding it very hard to enjoy it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I did like the scene between Nicole Kidman and her husband, Martin Donovan.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Where he's laying it down to her how the coal fat, if they take out this guy, it's going to be like what happens over in the Middle East when we leave. It's just the Wild West again. Yeah. You know, there's nobody keeping the little people and, you know, under wraps, you know. Yeah. And I like that little speech he gave her, even though she knows it. You know, you can see a look on her face. She knew it. She knows what's going on, but she's doing what she thinks is right. Yeah, in her parameter.
I did like that. That does put like a sort of weird international deep state dark finance to it.
Yeah.
It was well written into the plot. What was it? Something I was going to say, and Max made a point here. I got a Lioness theory. Fred,
Max has a point. Is it on? Is his head? Is it his?
Why did they call this Lioness? A Lioness is, in military and intelligence terminology, a Lioness is a female. Works for us. She's a female translator, who she's the one that will frisk down Muslim women. She's the one that will take care of the Muslim women, that will be there when they talk to them. Just so, you know, a Muslim woman doesn't have to be offended by being touched by a Christian man. There is no intelligence or operational significance to the word Lioness, but that's just another minor point that makes me think, oh God, when is this over?
Well, I like Max is saying, I think he thinks Zoe Saldana Lioness won't make it out of the season, and that could be quite possible. You know, with Sheridan, he's killed off quite a few people in his series, you know, so I don't know.
Oh, and there's one more thing that just doesn't sound, I mean, it just blows it for me. Oh, we're going to zoom in on her and kill her at the party with everyone else.
Right.
You're not going to take out an entire party. Trust me. Don't lay down. You're not going to do that. We had a chance to take out Saddam Hussein right before the war began. And the White House didn't want to do it because they were afraid, we might kill his sons. Like Uday and Qusay. Anybody gave a fuck about those two?
I don't think they cared after a while, did they?
They got what was coming to them. I got to see the videos that the Marines took when they took them out there. And you're not going to kill your own agent. You'll never do that. You'd only do that if it's about to die, if they were about to be shot, and like in Kandahar. But I don't know, just too much of this movie is just sort of like, oh, come on. Who wrote this?
Scott, tell us what you really think.
Yeah, I know.
With my vast amounts of CIA knowledge, I go into this thinking, it's got some good action to it. It's got a lot of good intrigue. I don't profess to understand all the operator and military aspects on that level, but it looks good to me. So when they're doing what they're doing, I think the way the interagency communication happens is just garbage. Like Scott said, that would never happen because none of the alphabets get along.
No, and
they rarely share resources. So that would never happen. And insofar as attacks on American soil by our own forces, posse comitatus goes right out the window. I'm having a hard time.
Can you say that again?
Posse comitatus.
Ooh.
You wanted me to say something else?
No.
Look
at me and say it again. Look at me and say it again.
Posse comitatus. I like the action sequences. I love the way that it's team oriented. Yeah. There's a couple of things that just didn't make any sense to me. That it wasn't in this episode. At least I don't think so. I think it was in the last episode. Is the operations team is in this house. They have just commandeered this, like it's a large house, and these 4 kids break into this house. They have no idea who's in the house. They just think they're going to go in and rob the house. Bad day for those guys because they get captured by the operators. And in anything I have ever seen anywhere, I mean, granted, again, I'm not a CIA agent. I don't belong to any 3-letter organizations. I was not a Marsoc operator.
So you say.
Right? Yeah. These kids would have been decomposing in a garden someplace. There's no friggin' way they're gonna he paid them $10,000 to go away. Is what happened. I'm like, no, that's never gonna happen.
They'll eventually one of them will talk. They're dirt bags. They're gonna be, if they're high or whatever, and they'll be saying,
whatever.
I mean, you can't trust that. I like that scene, but it just was like
same.
Yeah, not realistic.
Definitely new. It was absolutely new. I had never seen anything like that before, which is probably why it was in there, but it just didn't fly with me. But
it was cool though. They broke into the house, and here you got these operators all stack up. Like, you picked the wrong house.
I know.
Giving them the $10,000 didn't set right with me, but I love it when the guy comes over and starts taunting them.
Yeah.
Thinking them to think they're going to die. That would be something I would want to do. But again, we don't run safe houses, in the States. We don't operate in the States unless we're working with the FBI, just as the FBI doesn't work overseas unless they're working with us or Interpol.
I beg to differ, Scott. Hollywood, through hundreds of movies, has taught me that's not true.
Yeah.
Maybe there's not really us.
My wife asked me once, she said, of all of the TV shows and movies, which one is actually the more accurate? And I thought about it and I said, as stupid as it sounds, American Dad. Because that's what we're like when we're not on a mission. We're farting around in the office, having fun.
But look what Max said. and we don't operate in the States is exactly what an agent is trained as would say. Someone that's operating in the United States, that's what they would say, Scott.
All
I
right,
agree
next.
with
It was nice knowing you. If a white van shows up in front of your house today, just give in.
No, I get that. That's frustrating because we'd watch prison movies and stuff like that. And I just, every time, I think the closest movie that ever came to reality was a Tom Selleck movie where he goes to prison. And even some of that was kind of like, but they just never get it right. And I'm sure, Rich, you see a lot of stuff where you're like, come on,
Yeah, all the prison movies, but I was on the other side.
I always forget you worked in prison. How accurate was that show Oz?
Not at all, man. Not at all.
I never saw an episode of Oz. Everybody says it was great, and I never saw an episode of it.
It's a good show, but it's just if it's
Inaccurate.
like something you're into that and you're just shaking your head going, gosh.
How did Mayor of Kingstown do for the prison?
Huh?
How did Mayor of Kingstown do for the prison stuff?
Oh, we Tina and I, because she worked in prison too, we had to put aside that part to enjoy it.
Okay,
because there's so much bullshit. I don't know how other states are, but in the state we're at, it was a career, and retirement. And you don't want to put that at risk. Though I did see a guy that I knew well. He sold cell phones to inmates. He got fired. He didn't get arrested, but he got fired. And it's sad because his dad was a sergeant, a well-liked sergeant out there.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But there is corruption. I'm not going to say there's not. Because people are people.
Where I'm from, it's not a prison, but at the jailhouse, people get arrested all the time for selling drugs to the inmates.
Yeah. Well, you need to pay your people to not do that. A wage where they will think twice about doing it, and they still might do it because if they're going to do it, that's in their, that's who they are. But if you've got stuff to lose,
It's kind of strange you go there because I would think that would be better to pay the people that could catch you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny I say I like military movies with captain sergeants.
Yeah.
That's last week we saw that.
Well, you talk about the corruption in that. I worked with a guy who had been 20 years special forces and then transferred to the agency. And he was in Colombia and he was working the anti-drug. And he discovered that a lot of the guys in the police force were taking kickbacks. And he went to the head.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that the Colombian police weren't honest?
Well, wait a minute. So he goes in and he tells the head of the Colombian police, and the guy just sat there and listened, opened the drawer and threw an envelope out.
Oh.
My friend opened it up and it was pictures of his family in the States.
Oh.
And he said, "Are you threatening me?" And he says, "No." He says, "You live in the States where it's safe." He says, "I have a crew of men who they come up, they hand them a set of photos just like this and say, 'You work for me for $10,000 under the table or your family is going to get killed.' What the fuck would you do?"
Yeah.
And my friend got up, walked out, and said, "That's it. We're never going to win this war."
Yeah. Well, that's different.
No, that's different. That's not somebody in the States like, "Oh, I'm going to make a little extra money.
I'm going to make $200 extra bucks." See, or if you gave an inmate cigarette or something, they've got that over your head forever.
Yeah.
Imagine the stress of that, just wondering when this guy's going to tell on you, because they all tell. They're going to tell on you, So
you can't give nobody a smoke.
You can't give fucking smoke, man. You can't be that guy. Oh yeah, sure, man.
So why did you get out of it?
I turned 50.
Yeah.
You can retire at 50. I had almost 24 years in.
Oh, that's great.
And I was ready.
Yeah.
And Tina, she'd been out with her injury. She got attacked by a couple of Southern Mexicans, and they blew her knee out, so she had to retire. She couldn't, work anymore. So it was time.
Now let me ask a question. If you were a dick god, I mean, from everything I know,
Right.
if something happened, they would love to take you out.
Well,
Could you be a good guy though?
that's true in a way. But then, see, you go the other way, and if you're a nice guy, they take kindness as weakness.
Okay.
And I've seen people that were, oh yeah, I'll give you extra few minutes or whatever, and then they get hit. They get socked in the face, they get crap thrown on them. Guys that are dicks, some of them I've seen get assaulted too. But when you work in a place like that, you just got to be yourself. We used to call these guys that were super cops and stuff. We used to call them John Waynes, because you're not being yourself. And they always stressed be fair and safety conscious. And that's what you do. I'm not there to kick these people. I'm not, they're being punished already. They're in prison. It's not my job. My job is to make sure they don't get killed. Staff doesn't get killed. Things run, and there's no escapes, and it runs smooth. People that get into crap, where they feel like they got to do stuff. That's just the kind of people they are,
Right.
Now, very quick question with a quick answer. How accurate was Shawshank Redemption?
I think for that time,
that
era, I think it was probably pretty accurate for that era. Yeah, because it's
I
come
would
a long way.
I would think if you're a dick guard, though, people would want to be your friends because you always want to protect that, right?
Well, and that's another way. Yeah, that's another thing. They like order, a dick guard. That is some people probably like being dick guards more than others.
I would always be a dick guard.
Yeah. I think my wife considers herself a dick guard.
A lot of prison stuff going on here. What do you guys think of this latest episode of Lioness? Scott, we know what you think about it, but tell us anyway. What would you rate it?
I don't know. I can't get beyond a 3 on this show.
Okay. What about you, Big Mike?
I'll give it a 4. I do like it. I do like it. And I know where you're coming from, Scott. I can see that, because we do that with Mayor of Kingstown. It's like, though I do like that show.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
Russell, you going to give it a 5?
No, I'm going to give it a 1.
Nice.
I agree with Scott.
I'll give it a 4. I just think I enjoyed it. I like it. I'm not entirely sure where it's going yet. I haven't figured out if the Lioness is actually going to try and save her girlfriend or if she's going to do what she's supposed to do. But Taylor Sheridan, and he's got a lot of twists. So
now, is there only one more episode?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up on the order of them. And I think she just likes this gal because someone's being nice to her.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's who she is truly or not.
The Marine or the
Marine.
She said she loves her. She said, I think I'm falling in love with her.
Yeah.
But
Zoe Saldana really, I think she hit it on the head. You've had no family, you've had no friends. I think she psychologically nailed it on the head. But still, it's hard to, it would be, I've never been in that situation, so I couldn't say what I would do.
Yeah. Max said there's one more. Thank you, Max.
One more? Okay.
Yeah. I like Zoe Saldana too. She's really, she's got Guardians. What's that other thing she's got going on? Avatar.
She got a few things.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Mona.
Yeah.
So it's almost 10 o'clock. What do you guys have going on?
Just tears of shame. Nothing. I haven't written in a while, or not horror stuff. So I'm just gonna step back. I'll just do this.
Did
What about you, Al? What do you got going on?
Did you-
I'm almost finished with my gimp suit.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I just got to find a cod piece for it, and I think I'll be done.
Wait a minute.
I'll make
Yep.
you one.
Suit.
Gimp suit.
You can use this right there. That ought to do you.
Oh, that'll fit. Yeah. That might be a little big.
Like
I've got
in the
There we go.
God, I can't think of the movie now.
The Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yes, that type of gimp suit.
Yeah.
No,
What, is there another type?
Tina, I want photos.
no. Alan, if you
I don't know what's weirder. You having a
If
gift
you're-
suit and wanting photos.
if you're serious about needing a cod piece, go ahead and send me pictures of the region. I'll make you one.
I don't know why you said that. I got chills.
What about you, Scott? What do you got going on?
I don't know if I'll give you my return address.
I am hoping to finish the first draft of the Chronicles of Paul 3 this weekend. And then as I'm getting that ready to be published, I'm going to start on the final book in the Nurse Alyssa series. And that is going to be, I'm going to kill off people. I'm going to have tons of zombies.
Good.
He's got the nuclear weapon, whether he uses it or not. So,
What about you, Cecil? You've got stuff going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you want to find Wearing the Folk, we got stuff over there. You can find it on bitshoot.com or rumble.com and in audio listening platforms. And every Friday night at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time, you can watch Weird Awakenings live. So go ahead and tune in.
Nice. You got a lot of irons in the fire there. Plus, you're working on that cod piece for me now, I guess.
Yeah, I need the pictures though and measurements and video or whatever.
Well, anything else to throw out there, guys?
I'm good
no.
to go.
All right.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Cecil.
Most of the women didn't come on tonight, except for Mona. That probably means they expected us to do a lot worse than we did. But thank you all for being here. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you all next week.
Grind that subscribe button.
Take it easy, everybody.
Good night. Thanks again. Cecil, thanks again, man. We appreciate
Yeah,
you. coming on.
Thanks,
I
Cecil.
didn't contribute much, but I'm here.
You got that awesome room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ciao, everyone.